Hello everyone, this is 05 and welcome to the Global Man Central Toy Review. And today we'll be looking at the 2011 release by Hasbro of the G.I. Joe celebrating the 30th anniversary action figure review. And today's action figure review, looking at the Wave 3 of the G.I. Joe Renegades of Tunnel Rat, the Infiltrator. Now I got this straight from eBay, and surprisingly enough I managed to get this at $10. A little bit pricier than retail pricing, but still a bit more cheaper compared to what, well, most of the sellers that are selling it for $11 to $12 now. Now let's take a look at the front portion of the packaging itself. One corner here we have the Renegades artwork style of Tunnel Rat. Very nicely done there. It looks exactly just like the Renegades animation. And in here we have the plastic bubble where the Tunnel Rat figure is placed on this section. Left hand there is holding the heavy machine gun. Right hand is holding a plier. This corner here we have a, I would say, a Colt Python revolver. We have a walkie-talkie there, a laptop, a shovel, and a cooker here, a small little cooker. At the bottom section here we have a frying pan. Here we have the robotic bomb disposal unit. On one corner here we have a flashlight, and behind the figure is the base stand with no catalog at all, which is very good. Now at the back portion here we have a full image of Tunnel Rat in a Renegades artwork style. Here we have the rest of the lineup. We have the Renegades Ripcord, Renegades Scarlet, Renegades Tunnel Rat, which we're reviewing today, Renegades Duke, 30th anniversary Techno Viper, Renegades Storm Shadow, Renegades Cobra Trooper or Cobra Security Trooper, 30th anniversary Iron Grenadier, and finally Renegades Cobra Commander. Now at the bottom section is the file card. One corner here is the G.I. Joe logo. Here stated code name Tunnel Rat Infiltrator, name Nikki Lee. At the bottom section here you got a nicer image of Nikki Lee, aka Tunnel Rat. You got a nicer G.I. Joe logo stamp on the top. Now grade stated private first class, birthplace Brooklyn, New York. Now in his equipment this is something really interesting, and if you hadn't noticed earlier when I list out all the items just now. Now his primary weapon is heavy assault rifle, combat gear, revolver, robotic bomb diffusion device with controller, phone, shovel, survival pack, survival gear. Now what's interesting is that Tunnel Rat in the animation never used any of this equipment at all, and none of the weapons that is, well, being placed into this packaging. In the animation he's mainly using the plasma pulse pistol, and he's not carrying the heavy machine gun there or a revolver Colt Python there, and he doesn't even have a, well, all this survival gear or a bomb diffusion unit there. It's just, I'm not too sure why Hasbro decided to place all this stuff for him, whereas that none of this stuff is actually animation accurate. So at the bottom section there is a smaller item. I'm going to put it a little bit closer. Tunnel Rat is a streetwise infiltration expert. He has a small wiry build, which he is not. The figure is as tall as Duke and can get into tight spaces like air ducts and sewers. He is also right at home in dark places like subway tunnels. Because he knows many natural healing remedies, he ends up becoming the group's medic whenever someone gets hurt. Very interesting. Yet all the equipment that's being placed into this toy itself is not animation accurate, so that's kind of funny there. So without further ado, let's open up this packaging so we can molest the figure. Be right back. And we're back after removing the figure and the rest of the stuff out from the packaging. Now let's take a look at Tunnel Rat's accessories, starting off with the base stand there. Now it comes with a nicer base stand that's based on the 25th anniversary style. We've got a nicer G.I. Joe logo on the top with two pegs for the figure to stand on. Nameplate there stated as Tunnel Rat, and at the back bottom section of the base stand stated at 2007 Hasbro made in China. Now Tunnel Rat comes with a whole slew of accessories. At first glance, impressive of course. However, majority of the accessories you see here are nothing new at all. Now, here we have his heavy assault rifle, which is basically a light machine gun here that's actually made of, well, two types of plastic material color. But first things first, the rifle itself and the bipod are two separate pieces, so you basically can detach it or plug it back in. Now, for the rifle itself, it's not painted at all, but it is two different types of gray. One will be a little bit brownish dark gray plastic material color. The other one is just, well, gray plastic material color, a little bit more darker than usual. And the mold is nothing new at all. This is the same mold that you find on the 25th anniversary Tunnel Rat's weapon that is found in the comic pack. And also similar, like the comic pack of the Tunnel Rat figure that came along with the same weapon, both figures also don't have the belt feet. This slot here is meant to slot in the belt feet itself, so the figure is not given with the belt feet for both. So the entire weapon here is nothing new. That's just one weapon. He does come with another one, a revolver, but I presume it's a Colt Python here, made of a black plastic material color, and the body of the gun itself is painted in silver. Now, despite that the details of the mold is nice, this is still nothing new. This is the same mold that you find again in Tunnel Rat's, well, figure in the comic pack for the 25th anniversary line. Now, he does come with one realistic weapon and also another realistic weapon. However, both weapons weren't used in the Renegades animation at all, because Tunnel Rat in the animation was using the pulse pistol. He never used any real ballistic weapons or kinetic weapons. I'm not too sure why Hasbro decided to give him these two weapons, because this is not animation accurate. Then he's given with a walkie-talkie. Now you can see the walkie-talkie here, the back portion of the walkie-talkie, there's a peg there. And no, it doesn't peg onto Tunnel Rat's body, because this does not belong to him at all. Now the funny thing is, walkie-talkie here is made of a light grey plastic material color, and the mold here is also from, well, the 25th anniversary line, especially from Firefly. If that's not bad enough, both this equipment, the plier and the flashlight made of a dark green plastic material color, is also from Firefly, from the 25th anniversary line. The Firefly with the huge backpack. And no, there is no way for you to store the flashlight, the pliers, and the walkie-talkie onto the figure itself. Neither he can actually host the small little revolver Colt Python there. Then we have a laptop made of a black plastic material color. Now, funny thing about this laptop is that this mold is actually from the Rise of Cobra, Outpost Defender, and the Surveillance Pod, where the Televiper also owns this, so does Tripwire. And for both of those series, they are given a sticker label, a decal sticker label, to place it onto the screen, so there is something on the screen. We are given with a laptop with a black screen, so that's not really that interesting. And yes, you can fold close or fold open the laptop because it has a bit of a joint there. Then we come along with his web gear and his small little backpack. Now both items here is made of a brown plastic material color. One's dark brown, the other one is beige, or a little bit of beige brown there. Both items also is not new at all. These two molds are actually from the same figure, the Resolute Snake Eyes, or the CD Strike Snake Eyes from the Rise of Cobra. Then we come along with a scarf, which is made of a dark brown plastic material color. a shovel made of a grey plastic material color. Again, there is no way for you to store majority of the accessories onto the figure itself, so that's a bit disappointing there. You got a nice handle, you got a shovel head on the bottom, but it is a shovel, so I can't actually give it a more detailed explanation. It's just a shovel. Now I'm gonna pair this two up because these two are a combo. This is a gas cooker here made of a grey plastic material color, and the other one is a frying pan made of a black plastic material color. The frying pan here, you can actually fold the handle like so and snap it like so to store it. Now at the bottom section of the frying pan, there's a small little hole here. For the cooker itself, the top section of the pan, this is where you plug it in, so Tunnel Rat can actually fry some bacon and eggs. And no, it doesn't make any sense if you plug it on the side here. Now, funny thing is, these two items are actually not new at all. This is also from, this is an old mold that came from the Pursuit of Cobra Arctic Thread Snow Job. And yes, he has no way to store these items either. And finally, we have his disposable bomb disposal robot unit, as you can see here. Now the robot is actually made of a, I would say, dull yellow, a little bit more brownish yellow plastic material color with no paint job at all. And the mold is actually quite detailed stuff, as you can see here. There's a lot of nice details on the top, nicer details on the arms itself, wiring, claw, tubes, wheels, bottom section of the body of the robot itself. Very nicely done with the details of the mold. And yes, there are 6 wheels. Each 2 wheels are connected together, so yes, they all roll quite well. And of course, there's a bit of articulation. Although there's no articulation for this section of the joint, there is articulation on this section here, so you can actually fold the arms all the way down this far, or fold it all the way back this far. The 2 antennas are attached together, so it can go forward up like this high or back this far. However, the robot drone unit or the robot disposal unit here is nothing new. This is the same mold that you actually find from Tripwire's accessory from the Outpost Defender in the Rise of Cobra. So yes, that is all the accessories that you have for Tunnel Rat. And majority of the accessories are nothing new at all. So impressive as it is because there's a lot of accessories, but it's not really impressive when you cannot store all these items, or at least majority of the items, onto Tunnel Rat. Unlike the Pursuit of Cobra, the Arctic Thread Snow Job, which you can actually store all the items onto the figure's body, you're given a Tunnel Rat figure with so much equipment that he can only handheld carry some of them. Now let's take a look at the figure's paint job. Now here we have Tunnel Rat, and the funny thing about the paint job is that first, the head is made of a flesh tone skin, as you can see. I'm gonna pop the head off like so. So the face itself is not painted at all, but the eyebrow and the eyes, the pupils, the hair, and the smaller cap, the skull cap on the top is painted. Skull cap is painted in more of a reddish brown paint job, and the hair is painted in black, so does the eyebrow and the pupil. The torso is made of a swamp green plastic material color, so does the waist there. So the neck joint is actually painted, and so does the lower crotch area. As you can see, painted in more of a beige brown color. The arms is made of a flesh tone skin plastic material color, but the sleeve itself is painted in a swamp green color. And for the wrist joint itself, as you can see, the wrist joint, the wrist and the hand here is made of a dark brown plastic material color, but the fingers are all painted in flesh tone paint job. For the waist itself, as you can see, the whole entire waist section here is made of the same color as the lowest crotch area. So you have a beige brown color throughout the entire section here. A little bit of beige colors painted onto the sides and brown onto the bottom section of the straps itself. The entire pair of legs there is not painted at all, so does the kneecap, except for the pouches there. They are all made of a beige plastic material color, but the lower section there, they actually painted. I'm not too sure why. For the pouches, they are made of a dark brown plastic material color, and for the shoes itself, it's made of a, well, swarm green plastic material color. Now let's take a look at the figures mold. First off, I wanted to complain one thing. Tunnel Rat is one leg longer than the other one, so he has a problem standing by his own. Second, this Tunnel Rat figure, for size comparison, is way too tall. Now in the file card, it is mentioned that Tunnel Rat has a smaller body build because he can slip into silhouettes and tight spots. And for this figure, he is as tall as the Renegades Duke, perhaps even taller. So not too sure why they decided to do something like that, but there is a reason why, because some of his body parts are actually made from the Renegades Duke, hence why he is so tall. The torso, the waist, the arms, and the thighs are made from the Renegades Duke. Very interesting. The only thing that's new on this figure is the head sculpt, the hands, the lower legs, and, well, the boots. Those are the new sculpt there. Now for the wrist joint itself, it's a pity that they don't bother to give him a new, well, wrist articulation just like the Renegades Duke. It's just a simple sort of joint, but the mold of the hands itself is actually not bad looking. For the head sculpt, it looks closely resembled to the animation of the Renegades Tunnel Rat a little bit, but in a more realistic way. Still, it looks a little bit alright. However, the body is a bit too bulky, a little bit too beefy for a Tunnel Rat figure. If you watch the Renegades animation, Tunnel Rat is way skinnier and shorter than any of his Renegades friends. This version is not really well done at all, which is rather disappointing. If you're not, well, I would say if you don't want a show accurate figure, it's still alright. I really actually like the head mold itself. The head mold design is very nice. You got a skull cap on the top, which is folded in as well. Then you got a bit of hair poking out at the back, sideburns, facial expression is also quite nice. Very nicely done, but the body is nothing new there. For the thigh section, instead of, well, making a new thigh mold, they basically took it from the Renegades Duke and then add in the pouches for the sides to cover the, well, the holes itself. If you all remember Duke's review, especially on this section, there's a hole here on the side there that's meant to plug in with the small little pulse pistol. So for this figure itself, they actually cover the pulse, the hole that plays in the pulse pistol. But to those who actually own the Renegades Duke, who actually owns, well, additional pistol, apparently, well, Tunnel Rat here can actually wield them if you want to be show accurate. So the mold here is nothing special. It's the same old mold, nothing that interesting except for the head sculpt there. The rest of the body parts is just, well, the same as the Renegades Duke. So let's take a look at the figure's articulation. The head can pivot up, down a little bit, side to side, and turn 360 degrees. Torso here can pivot forward, back. Cannot go side to side though. It's a bit, I would say, unlike the Renegades Duke, this one is a bit, I would say, loose. Seems like it's gonna break sooner or later. Torso here can turn 360 degrees, like so. As you can see, it's a bit too loose there. Shoulder joints here can turn 360 degrees and lift the arms this high. Elbow joints here can bend this far and to the back and turn 360 degrees. Wrist joint here, no new wrist articulation, so it's a swivel joint that swivel 360 degrees. Then we have the hip joints, which is hindered by the straps itself and this piece here. So the hips can only move this far and back a little bit and to the sides, thanks to the hindrance of the straps. Double jointed knee that bends this far, and ankle joint that pivots downwards, upwards, and turn 360 degrees. Now, let's fully equip Tunnel Rat with all the accessories. By popping, first we have to pop off the head so he can wear the web gear that belongs to the Resolute Snake Eyes. This is the part which I really hate because it's such a pain to have the figure wear this kind of web gear where there's no button at all. So you have to really fiddle around with it just to make sure that everything slides in. This one is in, this one is done. Now we pop back the head and put in the backpack. Also got the scarf. Place it in like so. And let equip him with the heavy machine gun here, or the light machine gun if you want to call it that way. And you're done. Considering that he can't actually wield the rest of the items and he cannot actually store the rest of the items, this is as far as you can go. Now the figure is actually not bad if you're not into the Renegades animation at all. The figure is actually not bad, but to those who actually like the Renegades animation, this figure is a poor way to, you know, to simulate, to make a Tunnel Rat figure from the Renegades animation. First of all, he's too tall. Second, his one leg is longer than the other one. Third, most of the body parts there are from Duke. Nothing new there. Fourth, majority of his accessories here are reused accessories. There's nothing new there, and even that there's a lot of accessories, and which is a good thing, he cannot store them. There is no way for him to carry all of this junk. He has a shovel, a gas cooker, a frying pan, a laptop, a flashlight, a plier, walkie-talkie, a small little revolver, and a robot drone. There's no way for him to carry all that. Okay, maybe not the robot drone, but what about the rest of the items? He cannot carry all of them. So basically, if I'm going to give a rating on this, I am sad to say that the figure did not live up to my expectation for a Renegades figure. For a normal figure, it's alright, but still, there's so much items that he can't even carry them. So if I'm going to give a rating on this, I say I'll give it a 6. A 6 out of 10. Yes, 6 out of 10 for the Renegades Tunnel Rat. I thank you all for watching. This is Lucy05 and I'm signing off.